Unfiltered Journey here, and today we are going to get into some things. And the things that we're going to get into is Karmelo background being revealed. Also, he was denied a new trial. Let's get into it.
Never before released details of Anthony's early years in Louisiana up to the day of his arrest for murder are also disturbing. On the day that Karmelo Anthony would fatally stab Austin Metcalf, prosecutors say he sent this text message at 1 a.m., which said, quote, "I'm low-key on the verge," and then emphasized it. Later in the morning, on April 2nd, 2025, and hours before Anthony would kill Metcalf with a knife at a high school track meet, prosecutors say Anthony's girlfriend reported to a Centennial High School staff member that Anthony was engaging in stalking behavior, to include but not limited to driving by her home and refusing to allow her to end their relationship. Also, in the 75-page filing, prosecutors say Anthony had previously been accused of stealing his girlfriend's phone, and in October 2024 wrote a to-do list for his girlfriend about how to deal with, quote, weirdos, which included the line, "Say some slick, like my boyfriend, kill people." There are also text messages where he admits on at least 2 occasions to punching girls in the face. Prosecutors also...
I want to address this part. Like, don't get it confused. I still feel like Austin Metcalf definitely started with Karmelo Anthony, and Karmelo Anthony wasn't in the mood, and he just met his match that day. But what I want to address is there's a serious discussion that needs to be had with these younger people, younger males, and I think it needs to come from older males, that when someone says that they are done with you, it's okay to let them be done with you. You can't make someone be with you. Also, there's a trend that these men, young men, old men, are abusing women. And I feel like if your mental capacity isn't there, or you don't have the mental real estate to be in a relationship, maybe you should just be focused on getting your education, learning who you are, becoming emotionally intelligent before you get yourself involved into dealing with a female or dealing with a male. It goes vice versa, but I'm mainly focusing on the males because there's a trend here. Austin Metcalf didn't mind hitting girls, and according to these documents, Karmelo Anthony didn't mind hitting girls as well as stalking girls. Now, I'm going to call a thing a thing. And you can get mad, but it is what it is. You have to address situations. We are in a rigged game. And when you give them ammo, because everybody does things, but the other side gets more grace than us. So you have to be extra strict. And when you're giving them ammo to feed off of, you're fighting an uphill battle that 9 times out of 10 is going to be very, very tough for you to win. But I just wanted to address that. Men, talk to these young men, these older men. Make sure you are speaking to these younger men about understanding when someone is done, they're done. If someone is telling you they don't want to be in your life, let that be okay. Let them go. Because what are you going to do? Make them be with you? That means you're forcing them to be with you. And they, in reality, they don't want to be with you. So you want to be with somebody that doesn't want to be with you. And I think because they're not emotionally intelligent to just sit back and say, okay, this person doesn't want to be with me, so why would I try to make them be with me? It's just that simple. But when you're not thinking like that, you're thinking about control. And why are these people putting their hands on females? And females shouldn't be putting their hands on men either. But I'm just saying, like, this is becoming a norm where it's okay to hit females now. Like, when did that become cool? I don't know, but let's continue.
Found text messages from 2021 between Anthony and another student about robbing someone of $300. There are also text messages where Anthony talks about a fight and punching someone so hard he had to stop fighting. In 2023, prosecutors say Anthony told a friend he was going to vandalize someone's house in Austin, saying, quote, "I just feel like it. I got a grudge." In 2021, Anthony told a friend he had been suspended from school for 3 days for fighting, saying, quote, "They said next time I do some, I get recommended for expulsion." In a text conversation with a friend in 2023, prosecutors have messages from Anthony where he wrote, "I'ma shoot the school up tomorrow with my blick," but later sends messages saying, "I would never actually do that." In a 2024 text thread, prosecutors say Anthony admitted to carrying a firearm, telling a friend before a party that he would have the gun in my pocket. There are other message threads where Anthony also mentions carrying a gun. After numerous suspensions for fighting while attending school in Louisiana, there are messages between Anthony and his girlfriend after he moved to Frisco. In one message thread, she suggests he should sit for a while, and he replied, "Yeah, and punch."
That's another thing too. Like, these younger people are able to get their hands on these firearms, which I think is ridiculous. You don't need to have access to a firearm unless you're going to war. And I think the United States need to adapt what other countries have done, because there's some countries where having walking around with a firearm is illegal. But in the good old US of A, uh everybody want to walk around with a firearm for some reason. And people, I go back to the mental capacity. People don't have the mental capacity to be walking around with firearms because they're unstable. They're not stable. And this goes for everybody, because you got people teaching their kids how to hunt, and they're just learning how to walk, but they know how to hunt. Like, huh? I don't get it. I mean, firearms aren't my thing, but I really think there needs to be a regulation on these firearms. Everyone should not be walking around with firearms because everyone does not know the responsibility of firearms. And look what happens. It comes back to hunt you. Yeah, it may have been a joke, which I wouldn't joke like that about, powing up a school, especially in the climate that we're in now. But then he retracted to say, I would never do that, but you've already stated that, which is why they have the evidence to pull it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I really think people need to get very in tune to making sure that their children mental state is good. I think people need to focus on that as much as they focus on them being in sports. You know what I mean? I think that should be a priority to, make sure my kid is okay mentally. And I mean, like, professional, with a professional, not, yeah, you can check on your kids. Yeah, you can, you know, check their temperature, make sure you are asking them, do you have anything to talk to me about? How are you feeling? But I also think it needs to be a priority where people are making sure their children's mental health is just as important as, oh, let's play football, oh, let's play soccer, oh, let's play, tennis or whatever it is, because we are living in a different time now and things are extremely crazy. But I think because Carmelo Anthony gave them so much ammo, what occurred under the tent, and I still stand on, I feel like Carmelo Anthony was protecting himself or standing up to bullies, because clearly Austin Metcalf is a bully. That's not alleged. That's what his history have shown. Okay? His history have literally shown he was a bully. And he just happened to run up on someone who was not in, the best mood that day, clearly on edge, and he ran up and tried to bully someone that wasn't going to be bullied. You understand that? Which goes back to my first video, or my other video, about Austin Metcalf's background. You cannot tell someone how to react when you are bullying them. Yeah, you may say, oh, that's extreme. But somebody on the edge is not thinking rationally. So it's best for you to keep your hands and your opinions to yourself, because you never know when someone's on the edge. I'm pretty sure the people who went in schools and powed them was on edge as well. And when you look at it, the history of these people who went in these schools to do these mass pows, they were bullied. And all that stuff just sits in a person's mind, and they can just be at their last straw. And you cannot dictate that when someone's at their last straw. So, but yeah, this needs to be, I think mental health needs to be a priority. Mental wellness, mental health needs to be at the forefront, because we are living in a different climate. And it seems like there's a lot of undiagnosed people walking around here. But let's continue.
People, maybe run sometimes. I have to. It's like a priority for me. I like punching people. When I get mad, I see red. When I get mad, I black out. When I get mad, I can't control myself. Prosecutors also produced messages where Anthony admits to getting high and drinking alcohol, and even talking about selling drugs to get guns. In 2024, prosecutors say Anthony even attempted to assault a teacher, saying, "I put my hands and face and everything." Also in 2024, messages obtained by prosecutors suggest Anthony tried to bring a weapon into the State Fair of Texas, asking a friend if the State Fair got metal detectors. When he was told yes, his friend responded, "You got the poker?" "Yeah, I might have to toss it," replied Anthony. Prosecutors say Anthony admitted to stealing a watch and earbuds in separate burglaries in Collin County, and also to bringing a weapon onto a Frisco school campus, saying this about his girlfriend: "She went in my bag to get my computer, and I said no, and she still went in it and grabbed it, and my gun and my knife and some other stuff fell out." There are numerous unreleased photos and videos of Anthony holding firearms and making threats, and authorities found a note on Anthony's phone with a long list of disturbing racial tropes and slurs about blacks, whites, and Hispanics. In one message thread, prosecutors say Anthony wrote, "I hate gay people." Prosecutors say Anthony repeatedly threatened to murder his girlfriend in text messages, some of them saying, "How many bullets you want coming out of your chest?" and "I'm going to get you," expletive. He also threatened her with a knife in one message and told her in another, "When I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade." Prosecutors and defense attorneys were able to.
Okay. According to the documents and the evidence that I'm seeing right in front of me, that's unacceptable for anybody. To threaten someone's life, and it's just so much anger. It's so much anger on both sides. But with Carmelo Anthony, it was more like he was just an angry person, and any and everybody could get it pretty much from what I'm reading from these documents. I'm solely focusing on the documents and the evidence that's presented in this news clip. Okay? Threatening someone is insane. Especially threatening them, saying how many blanks do you want in your chest? That is not a stable person to be walking around people in the community. I'm just saying, it is what it is. Even if it's a joke, like, why are you joking like that? There's still something dark in you to joke that way. It's these video games that people are so obsessed with pals. Like that, like the amount of people that are being obsessed with these pals are insanity. And I'm just calling a thing, like, this is not okay. You can't blame other people. You have to look in the mirror and take responsibility. We are already in a society that is rigged against us, and you're giving them ammunition. Without this ammunition, it would have been a struggle, a battle for someone who has a clean record. Even with Austin Metcalf having all that on his record, it still would have been an uphill battle with someone with a completely clean record. But then you're giving them this that was not okay. It wasn't okay. And I think people need to start addressing this at home. Like, yeah, you cannot control someone, but start with making sure people mental health is okay. And you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. But if they're living under your household and they are a child, I think people need to start focusing on mental health more than anything else. Start with the mental health for foundation reasons. No one should be getting in any type of relationship if you have a mindset like this. This is scary. It really is scary. And if you don't see that, then you are the problem. I am all for supporting people when they are right, but what I've seen in these text messages are completely wrong. Because imagine if you had a daughter that's dating someone like this, which is what was presented. I'm talking about the evidence that was presented in these documents. You read your daughter's dating someone and you're reading that all of this about someone texting her saying, how would you feel about the amount of blanks coming out of your chest? I like to poke somebody and taste the blood. That's like some type of psychotic scary movie or something. I'm calling a thing a thing. It is what it is. Yeah, I still stand on Metcalf started it and he just ran into a bully. Period. He was a bully and he ran into a bigger bully that was about whatever you own, I'm on. That's what it sounds like.
To develop these character reports from a combination of school records, police reports, and cell phone extractions. The hearing is expected to end sometime tomorrow. It will resume at 9 a.m. We know that the first defense.
Okay, so this was done before they made the final decision to deny Karmelo Anthony from having a new trial. And with the information that they presented about, his background and pulling these text messages up, I have to be real and I have to say, like, this is disturbing. What I've seen in these text messages are very disturbing. He, just like Austin Metcalf, did not have any care for authority, because if you're talking about you put your hand in a teacher's face to provoke them and they didn't do anything, is very disturbing. That shows that you have no respect for someone in authority. Okay? Walking around talking about you having a pow pow and a poker, you walking around threatening your girlfriend to not break up with you and intimidating her to stay with you is insanity. It is what it is. I'm going off what I see in these documents. So if the documents are falsified, which is kind of hard to believe that they would be falsified, then I'm wrong. But from what I'm seeing now, I kind of see why his defense team was like, you know what, we're pretty much up the creek without a paddle at this point because of what they had on him. Like I stated earlier, we're in a rigged society. This would have been an uphill battle for somebody with a clean slate, with Metcalf having all this in his background. But you have given them this. That's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. I'm not gonna lie. Let me know what you guys think with the newly found evidence, with what came up in Karmelo Anthony's background. Does that affect your opinion now, or does your opinion stay the same? Let me know in the comment section below. This is Unfiltered Journey. That's it. That's all. And I'm out.